Um, I am back, and I'm going to try to do this season 5, episode 3 review for How to Get Away with Murder. How to Get Away with Murder. I am behind. I'm sick and everything else. So if I cough, if I sound horrible, you'll be alright. I'm sick. Just be happy I'm doing it. So yeah, let's get it started. Also keep in mind that, like I said, I give the reviews. I review prior to the commercial break. So I watch it. My reviews are in real time, is what I'm trying to say. My reviews are in real time. So as I watch the show, I give the review. So you'll see a lot of cutting and filtering out and things like that. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, so we flash back to where we ended off the last episode with Michaela asking Bonnie whose blood was on her ankle. So Bonnie just kind of wheezes away at the situation, saying, "Relax, I kept myself shaving." So now we're gonna flash back to 2 months earlier, and we'll see what happens. All right. So side note, I'm going to do my best to try to keep up with the cases as well. So just to get it out before I forget about it, the case is about a CEO that presumably killed his business partner when he found out he was going to go to a competing company. So keep that in mind because my mind's bad and I forget. Side note, Annalise's new company is now making her take on, for lack of a better term, sketchy clients, like rich clients, as opposed to where she's always taking on like not charity cases, but she's taking on like the innocent cases, people that were illegally locked up, or kind of like the low income type cases. Now she has to take on these CEO cases to make money for the firm, since they gave her all of her contingencies when she was hired. So now her boss is excited because she really gave a good case as to why he's not the CEO isn't guilty, even though they're basing his guilt on a book called The Psychopath CEO, I guess, where he kind of details doing anything to succeed and be on top and whatever, such and such. So it'll be interesting to see how her caseloads are changing now. So how will her motives change? I mean, she was defending like kind of low income people before. Now she has the big dollars behind her. You ain't gonna be able to hold her back. All right, so now I missed it, but I think the governor or somebody's throwing a monkey wrench into the whole scenario, because now all of Annalise's students has to take an ethics exam tomorrow. I guess it's a part of the course requirements, but I mean they've been killing people not in bodies, so they really haven't had time to do any of the coursework. So now they have a ethics class or ethics exam or whatever that they have to take tomorrow. So we'll see how they get out of it or ace it. Who knows? All right, so now Nate is interviewing one of the nurses who was at the hospital, whose shift it was at the hospital at the time that Maddox got kidnapped as a forgive me, I'm chewing a breath mint, where Maddox was kidnapped from as a baby. Where we're gonna at this point I'm gonna assume it was Bonnie who kidnapped the baby. There's a fuzzy picture that no one has been able to make out as to who kidnapped the baby when he was little, but he's interviewing the nurses, so um I just want to know who the baby is, who stole the baby, and what happened. I know the baby's Maddox. Yeah, I just want to know. Side note, with Bonnie potentially being the kidnapper from back in the day, um, let me just say that Bonnie is becoming a force to be reckoned with this season. All the other seasons, Bonnie has been quiet and shrill and, a mere shadow compared to Annalise, and she she's coming into her own this season. I kind of like it, and it kind of makes me nervous. Okay, so now Annalise and her new boss are at odds because I keep saying I say whatever. The millionaire wants to go and stand himself because his mistress or whoever his alibi was, she changed her story and now she's perjuring herself and whatever. He wants to defend himself. He thinks he's built a $80 billion company. He can defend himself in court. So they have to agree because he's in the process where he's thinking about renewing all of his legal contracts with Annalise's company. So they kind of have to give him his way at this point. So yeah, now Annalise is thinking ahead of the curve, and she told her boss, "Hey, your plan is going to fail." This She introduces him to Oliver. Hey, this is the guy that's going to find dirt on the whoever the lady was that changed her story when your plan fails, I'm going to have a backup plan and you'll appreciate it. So, yeah. All right, so Nate just broke into Maddox's / Wes's old apartment. Earlier in the episode, he was watching the cameras that he installed into the apartment to watch the guy. He watched him like kind of copy something off of the computer and then like hide it up in the fireplace because Asher was there knocking on the door trying to ask him something or whatever. So once Maddox left, Frank went into there and he found like a stack of cash and a ID. I'm gonna assume it has a different name on there. I can't be sure. I missed that part. I blinked too long. And then he found like a recorder or some type of device that looks like a recording device. So he did take that and put everything else back. So I'm just wondering, like, is the kid there to kill Bonnie because Bonnie kidnapped him and Bonnie is his mom? I haven't put it together. I'm just trying to make some predictions for the season. So yeah. A douchebag client is, basically just explaining his case to Tegan and Annalise because the boss is bringing both of them on since Annalise doesn't really support his decision. And the guy's just going in. That's why both of you ladies are not married and you're bitter and blah blah blah. And then the boss is like, hey, I will take all of us off of your case if you don't watch how you're speaking to them. And he was like, after what you did in Paris, like so the CEO is holding something over the head of the boss for the whole company, the whole legal company. So now he has to finish the case. They have to finish the case, even though the guy's rude, disrespectful, and super narcissistic. Great. And they can't afford to not stick with him. They have to fix his case, and assume they don't get him off. To assume that he doesn't get off on his charges. That could not be good for this company. All right, so the DA, the guy who wants to be the DA, he knows something. Asher brought him some kind of article. I don't really know. And so now he wants to plea. He wants to come to a plea for the rich CEO guy. And Annalise is kind of on board, but she doesn't want to let him know that. So he's just like, I want to be the DA, and that means getting convictions, whether that's through a plea deal or through the jury. So. It'll be interesting to see what he has on the CEO and what plea they come up with. And I'm just looking forward to them being done with the CEO. He's a bit of a douchebag, and I'm tired of hearing his voice. Actually, honestly, so I'm ready for him to just win or lose one way or another. I'm tired of looking at him. Okay, so Annalise asks Bonnie, why did you put your DA boyfriend up to offering a plea? I can't take it. It's going to screw my boss. And she was like, I had nothing to do with that. We beefing right now, so I didn't do that. It must have, they end up talking about her and Asher. Connor, Connor and everybody's kind of studying at the house that Connor found for everybody, and kind of found an email, I think an email between the mistress and the wife from a secret email account. So that'll be interesting to see what that's about. Which you can kind of guess. The wife and the mistress probably set them up, found out about each other, and then they decided to set them up. Sure. All right. So the CEO kind of admitted that it was his wife's idea to kill the mistress. And it was actually her belt that to kill the partner. And it was actually her belt that was tied around his neck. And he said it was her idea. She wanted to do it for years or whatever. But he also said, I'll kill both of you guys before I let her go down for killing the partner. So, excuse me. So they are, I'm going to assume they're at a tricky place because they know who actually did it. They can't do anything, and they can't afford to cross the CEO. So, what's the resolution at this point? I don't even know. All right, so they're over there trying to figure out a way, how to win this case without incriminating the CEO's wife. So they, whoever the witness is, I miss Terrell in the whole thing. She, they kind of want to put her in the stand and make her try on the alleged murder weapon, the belt. So she has to try on the belt, and then the CEO has to try on the belt. It fits the witness, but it's too small for the CEO. I mean, of course, it's too small for the CEO. He already said his wife is the one that did it. So I don't know if they're trying to get an acquittal or what, but this case is taking too long. Like, I just want to know who killed them or who didn't kill her. Let's move on. So the jury came back and found the CEO, Niles, or whatever his name was. They found him guilty. I don't know how, I don't know why, but good riddance. Annalise looks disappointed. You should be happy, sis, because this is too much. Okay, so Nate goes back to the nurse that was on duty at the time that Maddox got quote unquote kidnapped. He kind of looked through her medical records and realized she had stage 4 cancer, so he kind of used that as a catalyst to get her to admit what actually happened. And she, said the baby didn't get kidnapped. She kind of gave the baby back to a lady, supposed mom and grandfather of the child, and kind of saying she regretted putting the baby up for adoption and she wanted him back. Blah 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 blah. So Nate shows her the picture of Bonnie and said, hey, is this the lady that came and picked up the baby? Because it's a grainy picture, nobody could tell. So he got a clear picture of Bonnie and showed it to the nurse, and she's like, yeah, that's her. So what's her name? Bonnie. So Bonnie kidnapped Maddox from the hospital when he was a baby. Now, I don't think that's the full story. I'm not sure that Maddox is her son or if that's Annalise's son, and they lied to kidnap Maddox, which, if that's the case, that's going to ruin her and Annalise's relationship. But I'm sure there's a whole lot more going on to it, and it's not as simple as coming back from the commercial break. Everybody passed their ethics exam. Yippee. Annalise's, they want to do a retrial or whatever under the guise that they tell the truth who actually killed the CEO and who actually killed the CEO's partner. The CEO is not having it because, he would rather die or go to jail knowing he loved someone wholeheartedly instead of letting her go to prison, even though she only killed the CEO the CEO's partner in order to secure the money. Yeah. Okay, and as a result of winning the trial on the DA side of the house, Asher is given a permanent job, so yippee to that also. And Bonnie and the DA made up after a few words. Yeah. All right, Frank put the little tracking system on whatever that box was that allows Maddox to send anonymous emails. Yip dee dee. He's coming out of Maddox's apartment and he runs into Michaela, and they're both like, what are you doing here? He was like, yeah, I just wanted to see if Maddox wanted to hang out. And Michaela was like, she starts crying. Everybody hates me, especially Tegan. Da, 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 da. So she was going to come there to kind of beg Asher to take her back. So that's going to be another storyline. All right, so Nate comes to Annalise's house to let her know everything he found out about Bonnie, or what we presume to be Bonnie, and the baby that got kidnapped. And Annalise is like, no, you're wrong. It's actually not Bonnie. That's Bonnie's sister. So we'll see what's going on with that. Does Bonnie have a twin or what? I don't know. Now we're back at the party, so let's see. All right, so the party that everybody's been at all season is Connor and Oliver's wedding. Finally figured that out. So Connor and the DJ are like, hey, call the happy couple to the dance floor, and everybody's looking for Oliver, and crickets. Oliver's nowhere to be found at his own reception. And everybody's like, hey, let's make a lot of noise. Let's find Oliver. Where's Oliver? And Michaela's shaking her head, and she's looking at Bonnie. Everybody's looking concerned about where Oliver is. And Bonnie seems none the wiser. She's enjoying her drink, so she's thinking back to the blood she saw sooner. And that kind of leaves us with the cliffhanger that maybe Oliver's the one that's dead. I'm thinking it's Nate, but it could be Oliver. Could be Maddox. Could be anybody, because I haven't seen Maddox in this little foreshadowing thing. Haven't seen Nate. Haven't seen Oliver. So, and I haven't seen Asher. So, somebody's dead, essentially. All right. So, next episode, we will see what happens. Oliver wants to know why Nate is hacking Maddox's stuff, and yeah, so we'll see what happens in the next episode.